Guys ready? Good, good. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Alan Joins, Mayor of Winston-Salem, and it's my delight to welcome you to City Hall as we have a wonderful, exciting announcement, and I think it's extraordinarily appropriate that we're doing it during the first week of Black History Month here across the country. Let me take time to recognize some other council members here. Councilmember Denise Adams from the North Ward, Councilmember John Larson from the South Ward, and of course you'll hear from Councilmember Scipio from the East Ward in just a second. You know, as I mentioned, it is Black History Month, and we know the history of our Winston-Salem area. The African Americans played a hugely significant role in the development of our city and our community. Unfortunately, over the years during segregation and other times, we saw many of those contributions overlooked and really not championed. And we also saw the loss of the many symbols and buildings and so on that reflected the African American heritage and history in our community. To address this shortcoming, recently the City Council did adopt a resolution establishing the African American History Initiative. And this initiative is intended to collect the history of Winston-Salem during segregation, as well as other efforts after segregation and during the times of desegregation. To oversee this work, we established a committee of city residents that's been appointed, and many of them are standing behind me today, with staff supported by the city's Human Relations Department, the director, Wanda Allen Abraham. And since November, the committee has been meeting, getting plans prepared and getting ready to begin to work on this mission. It's a very exciting mission, and as the mayor of the city, I'm delighted that we're being able to move forward with that. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Councilmember Annette Scipio, who was the champion, all the things that made it happen there, that stirred the stew and made it happen. So Annette Scipio, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for coming. Winston-Salem provided a unique experience for African Americans in the South. Attracted by the factory jobs, by 1950, African Americans represented 43.8% of the city's population. During the period of segregation, vibrant neighborhoods and businesses existed. Safe Bus Company was the largest African American-owned transportation system in the world. There was a distinct professional sector and numerous organized civic and social groups. Today, positive methods for building relationships and building people may be found in understanding the survival techniques African Americans used to overcome the harsh elements of segregation, and by recognizing the challenges and effects of desegregation, including the influence of non-African Americans. Our history is not made by the names of all of the important people we remember. It's also made by everyday citizens, the factory worker, the Sunday school teacher, the barber and the hairdresser, the shoe shiner, the teachers, the nurses, the big mamas and the big daddies. Their stories are so important to understand the uniqueness of our culture. For that reason, the initiative is creating a digital archive to capture our history. The archive will allow any city resident to upload photographs, documents, video, and audio oral histories. Our unique goal is to create a searchable archive that will be accessible to the public and especially to researchers. But we have to walk before we run. As a first step, we're in the process of putting together an online submission form for the archive. We anticipate that the form will be available online in early April. At that point, any citizen will be able to contribute to our archive. At a later date, we will roll out phase 2 of the archive, which will make the items available to the public. So if someone is writing a history of African American churches in Winston-Salem, they will be able to use the archive as a resource. We recognize that most people may not have digital copies of their photographs and documents. So we will be organizing community scanning days where people will bring in their items and have them scanned so they can be uploaded into the archive. I'd like to introduce to you now the chairman of our committee, Ms. Dathula Barron, and she will introduce the other members of the committee and tell more about how citizens of Winston-Salem can get involved in this initiative. Ms. Barron.
Good morning. I'm Dathula Barron. I'm chairperson for the African American Heritage Initiative. And behind me are our subcommittee chairs. They are Linda Dark, Jane Penn, Joycelyn Johnson, Cheryl Harry, and Annette Wilson. We are really happy to be here. This is an exciting moment for us. Many of us came together to join this committee because, one, we love Winston-Salem. And I believe most of us grew up here. We have wonderful experiences to talk about and to share. We have a passion. And what we want to do is attract other community members to join with us to gather and collect and store this history. It's a rich history, and we're really proud of it. We had businesses and churches and schools and professional groups and social groups, so many groups that we remember from our childhood. And so we want to gather as much information as we can to put all of this together so that it will have it available for people who want to use it, who want to use it for research, or who just want to look through the history of the African Americans in Winston-Salem. The committees, all of them are churches, which I mentioned, neighborhoods, education, civic and service groups, government, arts and culture, professionals, and oral history. My committee is a business, and I'm really especially happy about working with that committee because my dad was a business owner, and many of his friends were business owners, and we were really proud of that. As councilperson Scipio mentioned, she mentioned Safe Bus Company. So many businesses were thriving back during the days when I was growing up. And their history is important. We know a lot about Safe Bus Company, but some of the others we don't know as much about, and we need to. So today we're asking citizens to volunteer to be on our teams. We know there are plenty of people out there who share the passion and the vision that we do, but we can't do it alone. We need community input. So what we're going to be doing is on Saturday, April 4th at St. Stephen's Baptist Church on Noble Street. That's off of Carver Road. From 1:45 to 4 p.m., we'll be having a session with people who want to volunteer. During those sessions, we'll help them to understand more about the initiative. We'll help them to understand how to use the submission form and give them training in collecting data and information and other memorabilia. Another thing I want to remind people of is that if they want to sign up, they don't have to come to the session, but we really do we need you to come to the sessions. But people can also go to CityLink 311 and sign up to serve on a collection team there. You can also go to the webpage, cityofws/AAHI. Teams and their leaders, all of us are listed on that webpage. I want to thank you for listening to us and helping us to share our information and getting it out to the public. I want to ask our other subcommittee members, do any of you have a comment? Anything you want to say? Let's get busy. And we realize we really are going to have to get busy, all of us. So I'll turn it now over to Mayor Joines. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies, and thanks to specifically to Councilmember Scipio for her hard work and initiative and persistence in getting this done. Any questions from the media or others for Councilmember Scipio or members of the committee? Are going to be celebrating a showcase of song, part of Black History Month, on Saturday, February 8th at 12:30 over at Carver School High School Auditorium. So hope you'll. That's always a great event, as we run a lot of gospel groups around. Great. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm sure there'll be folks who will be willing to stay around if you have any questions. Thank you so much.